Hey guys, we're here at San Diego Comic Fest 2014 in San Diego, California. This is what's sometimes called the other San Diego Comic Con, a really fun kind of localized show. Focuses first and foremost on comics, lots of fun stuff with artists, creators, talent of all sorts of nature in terms of the comic field, but also a really great toy scene, and that's something that really attracts me here. As much as I love all the comic stuff and I'm a big fan of that, great vintage toy scene. Find some of the best deals of the year here last year of all of our con circuit, and a quick look at the room already feeling that same way this year. So we'll take a look around. One thing about it, this is year 3 of kind of a 3-year soft launch. So they've really kind of kept things very small to start. A lot of the members of Comic-Con International, themselves members of the board, I should say, are part of this effort here. And so it's really kind of taking the founders of San Diego Comic-Con and now creating a second show, because obviously San Diego definitely can handle a second show. And the fact that this is one that's obviously a much more relaxed, much more kind of local, and has a really kind of family feel to it. One thing, if you listen to our podcast kind of leading up to this, we talked about kind of the the very friendly nature of the convention, that it really feels like something similar to Gallifrey, where it's like a group of friends coming together to put together a con. And so definitely have that feel again. As you look behind us, kind of the setting for it is in this kind of hotel area of the town and country. So it's not even taking over the convention center specific portion, which is off over to the other side where you might be familiar with San Diego Comic-Con registration and things like that. So right now it's over here off to this side. They're using up all sorts of spaces, from the hotel rooms, meeting rooms, conference rooms, artist alleys up on the 9th floor. They have a Twilight Zone Cafe, which is about the coolest thing we've seen in the convention circuit this year. And so they're really being economical in terms of how they use their space and what they're doing. And as they're growing, you could easily see them kind of sliding over and taking over more of this place in the years to come. So let's go take a look around a little bit. Dealer room, artist alley, kind of all the various parts of this convention, get a feel for it, and then we'll close things up at the end. Okay, so right here, we're right outside the dealer room. We're going to take a look inside there, and we're also right by the stairway up to the garden salons and the crescent rooms, which is kind of their main panel rooms. Two things I just want to hit on real quick. First off, with the dealer room, tons of great deals, great comics. Neil Adams is in there, Floyd Norman, some great talent as well, Andrew Robinson. But for me, as you can tell if you follow on social media, really the toys, I'm really biased on the toys here, because this is our 38th convention of 2014, by far the best vintage toy finds of any of the shows that we've been to, and we have a couple that are pretty good in the toy area, but this one, nothing like it in terms of deals and just quality, things we haven't seen literally since the 70s, 80s, things like that showing up there. And secondly, then we'll take a look around there, but also want to just talk about the panels a little bit. We're going to show you a quick couple pieces of footage from some of the panels, but also we're going to go into a lot more depth on our podcast about that and kind of talk about the offerings this year, because they've made a big step up. At last count, there was 108 different options in terms of programming over the 3 days of the show. So a really cool thing that you can kind of come down here, park yourself for 3 days, and just enjoy all of the great programming stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look around the dealer room, and then we'll check some of the panels out.
It's still worth it. Martian Manhunter. That one would be not in the box, but like Martian Manhunter. Very good. Seeing it makes me remember what price we paid for the one that we had.
But yeah, like the big one, yeah. The iconic moment. Yeah, I like the first two.
Starts out with and so it was River Wind, it was the Pet Cemetery.
How you doing?
There have been a lot of times where he's
Yeah, that's Guy King.
somebody started to paint this art. Take a look around a little bit.
He approached the second one. I said, well, I have one of the only problems we're going to have is the audience that was young, or teenage audience, I was thinking more of. We made number one. At this point, that same audience has probably got some little 5-year-old annoying brother who's been running around with his Ghostbusters crap toys for 3 years. And so it's not the hippest place to take your girlfriend to. It's just, somehow we may have just missed the opportunity. We should have done it 2 years later, or don't do it at all. But, on the other hand, everybody wasn't working. It was like everyone was between pictures. And that's all it took. Columbia would pay anything. And we said, oh, why not? It'll be fun to do another one.
So I'd just like to introduce my co-hosts. At the end is my son, Joel Adams, who is an animation designer. He worked he did the designs of the characters for the first 4 years of King of the Hill. And won an Emmy for that, designing those characters. Joel, unfortunately, is a very good artist, and of course, King of the Hill sucked art-wise. It's a good show. So I would ask Joel how he could possibly go to work every day designing these characters, since they're drawn so badly. He said, "Don't worry about it, Dad. Before I leave the house in the morning, I slam the door in my hand." Wow, right? He's also designed characters for The Mask, the Hulk cartoon show, and NASCAR. Thank you, NASCAR. He also has his own characters called Lils, and he draws naked ladies too, which I am totally ashamed of. There you go. This is Buzz Adams. Just to explain this, which I don't necessarily can, his name is Aldrin Awe. Okay, Aldrin Awe. Now, if somebody is named Aldrin, you're going to think Buzz Aldrin, right? Thinking Buzz Aldrin, you're going to give him a nickname, and you're going to call him Buzz. So Buzz, convoluted thing, is now called Buzz. Okay. Now, Buzz travels with us to different conventions and hangs out with us because he's a nice guy. So people assume, for some reason, that he's an Atom.
All right, amongst the eclectic collection of things to do at San Diego Comic Fest, one of the really cool things is they take the eating area up here. Instead of it just being a regular kind of snack bar, they theme it up. And so this year it's the Twilight Zone Cafe, which, being a huge fan of the Twilight Zone, it's an awesome thing. It's really sad that it'll only be here this weekend because we'd love to have a restaurant set like that. But anyway, they do cool little contests in there, all sorts of food, drinks, themed. You can even have a contest to find the hidden invaders. So let's go take a look around.
After I started keeping my van, Chevy will give you the code for all the keys, their products back to 1990. I have an 89.
How do you understand your and of course, that was it, keeping it up with the club to 1,500. It makes you think. It also makes you think.
Because we think everybody's like,
And they're not. I mean, that's how sort of human opinion. The birds up by the flocks.
nope, there are no forks. No, they're in the back. Okay.
All right, so at San Diego Comic Fest, outside the dealer room, then there is the Artist Alley, which is kind of off separate down here on the 9th floor of this building. So it's kind of a jammed in place there, a lot of talent, small space. Let's go take a look around.
I think I might have sold my iron head.
All right, we're wrapping up from San Diego Comic Fest for this year. Had a lot of fun. Just to note, we only spent one day this year, so it's a 3-day show. Definitely leaving this year feeling like it really needs to be, at least for us, a 2 or 3 day show. But we're only able to take the one this year. It doesn't fall in the best time of year for us in terms of all the stuff we're covering with theme parks and things like that. That being said, a lot of fun. Even more intent on wanting to do 2 or 3 days next year. A lot of fun. You know, that Twilight Zone Cafe, I think, really speaks to the amount of care and love that the people that run this show put into the convention. It's just a great show. So this is our Under the Con portion. If you're not familiar with our reviews of shows, what we do is at the end is go under the con. A lot of times we're underneath the convention center, so that's kind of the idea of going under the hood of the show, what makes it tick. So for today, I want to focus on a couple things we picked up under the con. Really, you can see that for us, this show is a lot about the vintage toy scene. Our understanding, not sure if this is 100% correct, but heard a few people say this, that they don't allow them to sell anything new on the floor. I'm not sure if that's 100% correct. We saw a few newer things. That being said, not much. I mean, this isn't a show where they've got a ton of Funko Pops or things like that sitting there. Saw a couple Marvel Select, Marvel Universe, things like that. But comics, it's all about the vintage. Toys, it's all about the vintage. And we picked up a lot of vintage toys today. So first off, a ton of Micronauts. And so if you're not familiar with Micronauts, get familiar with them because they're amazing. Fun toy. They're kind of the answer to Star Wars by Mego back in the day, but we got this set of 5 of them. You can see, I mean, the boxes aren't in the best shape and all that, but for $70, a real steal at that price at the show. We've not picked up any Mego literally this entire year. This is the 38th convention we've hit, and so the fact to come across a big find like that. Same thing here, Eagle Force. Picked up a couple of these, $7 a piece, carded. You know, haven't picked up any Eagle Force this year. They had, you know, just this eclectic group of things. Old Ben Cooper Star Wars masks. Picked up these 3 for only $5. Another thing we've not seen, you know, and all the stuff we picked up today, literally haven't seen at any of the other conventions we've been to this year, including San Diego Comic-Con and everywhere else that we've gone. These fan club, we got the fan club letter back from the old Star Wars, the Bantha tracks. You might remember these. Picked up a whole stack of these from the old Star Wars fan club. This is what kind of kept Star Wars alive so that we even have an episode 7, but got this whole stack of them for $5. Added to our 70s Remco McDonaldland set with the Mayor McCheese, so we're closing in on getting all of them carded, and so picked this up for $24, a great price, best price you can find on eBay, about $40 for even a worse card. And then picked up a few comics, specifically some of the old superhero catalog games, books, toys. These are, if you're unfamiliar with them, these were 70s kind of comic book type catalogs, a lot of Mego stuff in there, fun stuff. So you can see, obviously for us, this show is very much about toys. That being said, it's not to overlook all the awesome guests, the comics. I mean, there's so many bins that we went diving through, picked up some books there. There's dollar books, as you can see from our video, a lot of great wall books, things like that if we have the money for it. One of the comments we made on our podcast as we were kind of reviewing the shows, just I feel like I almost need more money to have fun at this show than I do at San Diego Comic-Con. And what I mean by that is just there's so much cool stuff I want to get. Like, there's just an endless supply of amazing stuff. We probably left at least 10 things here that would have been instant buys at all 37 of the other conventions I've been to this year, but here we left them behind because there was so much other stuff that I hadn't seen anywhere all year long, and in many cases for several years, so just had to pick those up. So definitely, now that we have our podcast going on as well, that's a great place to kind of get supplementary info on these. You know, before we just had the video reviews, so this was kind of everything that we had, and so YouTube channel was kind of like our way of conveying the entire story of a convention. Now we're at, I think, episode 31 or 32 on our podcast channel, so you can check out iTunes, Stitchers, Parks and Cons. So if you want to hear more about San Diego Comic Fest, we talk 40-50 minutes there, just all about the convention, go into detail, everything from panels, guests, cosplay, whatever. A lot of fun stuff there, so go ahead and check it out. iTunes, Stitchers, are on our website, Parks and Cons. So we'll definitely be back for San Diego Comic Fest 2015. Can't wait to hear the dates, can't wait to book it and make sure that we make this a weekend, because it's a fun show. It's only getting bigger, only getting better, only getting more fun each time. So until next time, we'll see you in line somewhere.